Hello Bobcats, I'm Caroline Hubbard and welcome to another edition of GC360's Cat Talk. Each month we spotlight an interviewee who is a major newsmaker. Our goal is to dig deeper into some of the topical issues that are shaping lives here at Georgia College and globally. On our program today, GCSU Assistant History Professor Dr. James Welborn, here to discuss his part in the Georgia BBQ Trails project. Dr. Welborn, along with fellow history professor Dr. Craig Pascoe, worked together to tell the rich history of barbecue and its cultural significance through a mini documentary series and their website, bbqtrails.com. Stay tuned. To start things off, let's talk about some lighthearted topics. One question that has been on the minds of many of us here at Georgia College is, would you rather go skydiving with thunder or bungee jumping with President Cox?
Oh, I don't do heights, so I might have to pass on both, but I guess if you made me choose, I would skydive.
You would skydive?
In thunder.
Oh yeah, with thunder.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
If barbecue grills could talk, what do you think it would say?
Feed me.
Is its favorite song or genre to listen to while cooking? Like, what's a barbecue grill's favorite song?
Ooh, probably, I feel like barbecue grills are cool, so they would listen to a little R&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any, like, specific songs?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of, like, a cooking-themed one, but I'm drawing a blank right now. So...
That's okay.
Maybe something by Jimmy Eat World. Like an old 90s
there we go.
Yeah.
If barbecue sauce was a superhero, what would its catchphrase be?
Ooh. I'm gonna smoke you.
If barbecue grills could talk, what do you think they would gossip about?
They would definitely talk about the grill master or pit master.
Like, what would they be saying
There'd
about
be a
it?
lot of critiquing going on. I think there would be some smack talk happening.
Would your grill
amongst the
smack
grills.
talk you?
Oh no, I'm
No.
an expert pit master. So.
Okay. If barbecue smoke had a distinct smell for each emotion, what would happy barbecue smell like?
Ooh. It would smell like a combination of South Carolina mustard sauce and a little bit of brown sugar dry rub.
See, I was picturing like Memphis barbecue. Like that's you know what I'm talking about? Like the smoky, like sweet sauce. That's what I was picturing there.
I think most people would probably agree with you, but I'm from South Carolina, so.
Okay, well, bias, but whatever. If barbecue sauce had personalities, which one would be the life of the party and which one would be the introvert?
I think the introvert would probably be, I feel like vinegar is introverted.
I can see
like
that,
a vinegar sauce. It's a little bit sour. Not everybody gets it. Yeah. The extrovert would probably be your sweet sauce.
There we go.
Everybody loves them.
I agree.
It goes on everything.
It does. And of course, what type of barbecue is your favorite?
I am a pulled pork, mustard sauce, hash and rice guy.
Okay, so if it's like a pulled pork sandwich, like what are you putting on it with that sauce?
Just
the sauce.
A mustard sauce.
Oh,
No
okay.
slaw. I don't like to adulterate my barbecue with slaw or anything else.
Okay.
I take it pure.
So Dr. Welborn knows a lot about barbecue, but what does he know about water? Let's see if we can find out the differences between water brands. After that, we'll dive into some more serious topics and get to know our guest a little better.
News anchor. What do you like? 10 seconds. Can you just read this announcement for me?
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay.
This semester, GC360 is introducing a new show, Cat Talk. We will showcase a new guest each month and deep dive into some topical issues of concern to you. You may also see some of our guests play some silly games while they're here with us. You won't want to miss this from GC360. This is Isabella Vanderlende. So join me each month for Cat Talk right here on GC360.
Welcome, listeners. How y'all doing? Coming soon, right from the classrooms of Midway Hills and Lakeview Academies, the Writing for Success podcast, a reimagining of the 1998 anthology, Everybody Has a Story to Tell, Stories of Flannery O'Connor's Milledgeville. Baldwin County students will share their stories as part of this 100% federally funded grant of $385,000 to improve literacy in Baldwin County Elementary School. That sounds pretty good, y'all. Come check it out. Can't wait to see y'all there, or hear y'all there, or just hang out there. See you there.
Welcome back. Now we're going to play a game that tests the true skills of Dr. Welborn's taste. He might know a lot about barbecue, but what does he know about water? Here we have 5 different types of water. The options are tap, Dasani, Deer Park, Smart, and Fuji water. Do you have any water that you like best?
I drink tap water at the house,
Okay.
so no, I don't drink a whole lot of bottled water, to be honest.
All of mine goes through a Brita, so it doesn't really matter for me.
Probably gonna fail this miserably.
That's okay.
What?
So let's drink from cup 1 first. Let's see if you can guess which one it is. What do you think?
It feels like Deer Park.
It does? Okay. I think that's Dasani. Let's see.
Number 2?
Let's try number 2. What do you think?
That's Dasani.
You think that's Dasani?
I do.
You do? Okay. I'm thinking Fuji water. Let's try number 3. I think that's Millie water.
Yeah, that's tap. Agreed.
Who knows, but why do you think it's that?
It tastes metallic. Like it may have run through some lead pipes at some point in its history.
Who knows? I don't know. To me, it has a little bit of like a aftertaste. So I think it definitely came from the water
I think
fountain.
that's the lead.
Okay, try the fourth one. I take it back. That could also be tap water.
What's the Fuji and this one?
Deer Park, Dasani, tap, Deer Park, Dasani, tap, Fuji, and Smart water.
I think that's Fuji.
That's Fuji?
Yes.
I think that's Deer Park. I think that's Deer Park water. Why do you think it's Fuji water?
It tastes a little clearer.
A little
purer.
clearer? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try this one. I don't know. I think that's Smart water, but I also thought that number 2 was Smart water, I think.
Smart water is all I've got left, so it has to be Smart water.
Okay, why do you think it's Smart water? Just because it's your last one?
Mainly because it's the
Okay.
last one, but
All right,
also
final guesses. 1. You need a double taste.
Deer Park, Dasani, Tap, Fuji, Smart.
Okay. Dasani, Deer Park, Tap, Smart, Fuji.
Okay.
All right, let's see who's right. I do have the answers here, but I promise I wasn't looking. All right, so let's find out what was in each cup. So the first cup was Smart water.
Ah.
We were both wrong. The second cup is Fuji water.
Ah.
The third was Deer Park. That's what we thought was tap. Sorry, Deer Park. The fourth one was tap.
Oh.
And the fifth was Dasani.
Ah.
Yeah, I think that was pretty hard. Water is all very similar.
As predicted, epic fail for me.
You know what? Neither one of us knew what was happening. That's okay. So before we move on to more questions, let's get a small taste of the mini documentary series, Georgia Women in Barbecue.
Welcome to Trails and Tales of Georgia Barbecue. a series of mini documentaries on the history and people who show how Georgia barbecue is an integral part of the state's culture and traditions. In this episode, we visit Vanna Country Barbecue, located in the unincorporated town of Vanna, just outside Royston in northeast Georgia.
We are moving on to some more deeper questions about Georgia BBQ Trails and its missions. So what inspired you and Dr. Pasco to create a website that explores Georgia's history and culture through the lens of barbecue?
Well, Dr. Pasco actually initiated that process. He teaches a study abroad course that it's basically focused on the history of the Mediterranean through food.
Ooh.
And so he's taken students there the last 8 years, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And so that was the initial spark for him, and he got involved with an exhibit they did at the Atlanta History Center a couple years ago called Barbecue Nation, and was a consultant. And he was traveling, that was right around the time that I started here, and he was traveling around the state eating barbecue and interviewing pit masters, and I wanted to get in on that. So I started helping him with that work, and we were like, we should do this and sort of collect some of these stories and try mapping some of these barbecue places so that people can create their own barbecue trail. And so that was what eventually led to the website.
Awesome. So what are some of the ways Georgia BBQ Trails has incorporated stories about the history, people, places, etc. of barbecue?
So we try to focus on places that have a longer history. The ones that we tend to feature with our mini documentaries and the ones that we do short articles on tend to focus on places that are multi-generational, either within the same community, even if it's changed hands between different families, or if it stayed within the same family over multiple generations. We try to use those stories to reflect sort of broader changes in history and culture and sort of society over that span of time. So it's a really cool way and an interesting way, because everybody loves food, right? Even if you don't like barbecue, food is something that we all attach meaning to. And so telling historical stories through food is a cool way to grab people's initial interest and then hopefully keep them there once we talk about some of the more complex historical issues that those stories reveal.
Yeah. So can you share a unique story or piece of information you learned while working on the project?
So actually one of the most interesting things that we discovered was there was a guy named Sheriff John Calloway, and there was what was called the Atlanta Cotton Exposition in 1895. And he served a particular type of barbecue. It was sort of a spicy vinegar-based sauce, pulled pork. He served barbecue sandwiches at this exposition. And people from all over the country, and really it was an international exposition, so people from all over the world came to Atlanta to see new technological marvels. It was kind of like a World's Fair, but for the cotton states. That's what they called it. It was a way to promote the U.S. South and the cotton industry and all this stuff. And so Calloway is from Wilkes County, Georgia, and his brand of barbecue that he served at this cotton exposition became known as Southern barbecue, which is really interesting because now a lot of people perceive Georgia as not really having a distinct style of barbecue. Like it's kind of a hodgepodge of styles from different states and different places. But for a long time, at the turn of the 20th century and for much of the first half of the 20th century, people associated Southern barbecue with Georgia in a way that's kind of lost some of that. We've kind of lost that now. And so Georgia BBQ Trails is kind of one of the ways that we're attempting to kind of reclaim that prominence for the state in the history of barbecue.
Awesome. So how do you envision the project serving as an educational tool for those interested in going on their own journey on the Georgia BBQ Trails?
So the initial project was just to map as many barbecue places as possible in Georgia. And we kind of subcategorized them into historical, which we somewhat arbitrarily defined as anything before 1980 that had been around since at least before 1980. And then more contemporary, more recent, which places that were founded after that point. And so that was the initial project, just to get as many of those places on the map as possible so that people could come to the site, find barbecue places that were along the path that they were going to travel wherever they were going in Georgia. And from there, it sort of morphed into, all right, now that we've mapped all these places, let's talk to some of these pit masters, let's tell their stories, and once we start doing that, maybe we can start looking for patterns of, well, when these places start and how they evolve. What does that tell us about the larger history of the state and the region and the nation? And so now that's kind of where we're at, is trying to capture as many of those stories as possible.
Yeah. And so what kind of impact do you hope Georgia BBQ Trails will have on people's perception of Georgia and its rich cultural heritage?
Well, hopefully people who travel to Georgia will be able to use the site to experience sort of a quintessential part of Georgia history and culture, right? Barbecue has been a part of the state's history even before it was a state. It goes all the way back. So it literally maps onto every part of the state's history. And so all the way back to the indigenous peoples, many of the cooking techniques that they used are part of the barbecue tradition that most people point to now. So it's a really cool way to show that, but in a way that also is entertaining and tastes good, right?
And so here at GC360, our shows are mostly produced by the very hardworking women of the Mass Communications Department. And we would like to know what led you to specifically feature women in barbecue in the mini documentary series.
The mini documentary, in interviewing a lot of pitmasters across the state, a couple really sort of stood out. And both of them, there were two women, one in Vanna, Georgia, which is kind of the northern part of the state, and then one outside of Savannah. And women pitmasters and entrepreneurs are not as rare as they have been perceived to be in barbecue history. But the typical, stereotypical image of a barbecue pitmaster tends to be a white dude. And so we wanted to kind of push back against that perception that's largely present in popular culture and sort of show the longer historical roots that could lead to, a place like Vanna Barbecue or Smokey's Barbecue in Savannah still being around and still being vibrant and active in the community and sort of leaders in their community.
That's awesome. So what are some of the challenges that women face while working in the barbecue industry?
It's a very male industry, and there's a lot of assumption that comes with that. And so a lot of women who are pitmasters and entrepreneurs have as much training, as much experience, as many of the chops, so to speak, as any male pitmaster. But because of those prevailing assumptions and perceptions, oftentimes what they produce and their place in the barbecue community and in barbecue history kind of gets dismissed. Yeah. And so I think a lot of times they have to work harder to prove that they have the chops and that they, are legitimate pitmasters, which obviously is not as it should be, but it is, I think it's instructive about some of the assumptions oftentimes that we don't even think about, that we take into our interactions with our food and the way we sort of consume it, right?
And so how does this documentary series highlight the rich history and culture of barbecue through these women's stories? So like the women illustrate the broader point that barbecue has been a part of the state's history all the way back to the colonial period and really even the pre-colonial period with indigenous America. And the various indigenous peoples who inhabited what came to be Georgia, they're engaging in things that we would recognize, in food production processes that we would recognize as barbecue. And so being able to connect that really long history to the present day is really fascinating. And you can kind of know where your food comes from, not just from a production and distribution standpoint, which is increasingly rare, right? But in a historical and cultural standpoint as well. That's awesome. So coming up, Dr. Welborn will test his sense as he guesses a mystery item inside a box. When we're playing What's in the Box? We'll see you after the break.
Like 10 seconds. Can you just read this announcement for me?
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay.
This semester, GC360 is introducing a new show, Cat Talk. We will showcase a new guest each month and deep dive into some topical issues of concern to you. You may also see some of our guests play some silly games while they're here with us. You won't want to miss this. From GC360, this is Isabella Vanderlende. So join me each month for Cat Talk right here on GC360.
Welcome, listeners. How y'all doing? Coming soon, right from the classrooms of Midway Hills and Lakeview Academies, the Writing for Success podcast, a reimagining of the 1998 anthology, Everybody Has a Story to Tell, Stories of Flannery O'Connor's Milledgeville. Baldwin County students will share their stories as part of this 100% federally funded grant of $385,000 to improve literacy in Baldwin County elementary schools. That sounds pretty good, y'all. Come check it out. Can't wait to see y'all there, or hear y'all there, or just hang out there. See you there.
Welcome back, Bobcats. It's now time to play What's in the Box, where our special guest will reach his hand into our mystery box and guess what's in it. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Item number 1 is already in the box. You can reach your hand through that side and try to make your best guess. All right. What do you think it is?
This feels like some sort of garland.
Garland.
Christmas decoration?
Okay. Is that your final guess?
Yes.
All right. Let's find out what's in the box. It was
All right.
garland or tinsel, but
One for
same thing.
one.
All right. Put our second item in there. Cannot look. All right. You may now reach your hand into the box. What do we think it is?
A purse?
A purse, really?
Pillow? Purse. We'll go with purse.
We'll go with purse. Is that your final guess, or do you want to keep on guessing?
I feel good about purse.
Are you sure you feel good about purse?
As good as I'm going to feel.
All right. Our final guess is purse. Let's find out what's in the box. You were wrong.
Ah.
It's a stocking.
I'm sensing a theme here, so
There
I'll
might
get on
be
board.
a theme.
I'll get on board with the theme.
Sorry. Look, the day after Halloween is Christmas to me, okay? All right. Our next item. Cannot look again. Is that? All right. You can reach your hand in there and figure out what's in the box. You got any guesses? What are we thinking?
That's another stocking.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you 100% positive? Or
Final answer.
Final answer?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's got to be.
Let's see what's in the box.
Ah!
You go.
Should have known. Santa hat.
Wear your hat.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's probably not going to fit.
There you go. All right. Next item. No looking. No peeking. All right. All right. You may now reach your hand into the box. See if you can make any guesses.
It's a bowl of spaghetti.
Are you positive that it's a bowl of spaghetti?
Very much
Not
so.
on theme?
Very much so. Final answer.
Final answer. All right.
Yes.
Let's see what's in the box. It was a bowl of spaghetti. You got one right.
All right. I feel good.
I think that's 2 out of 4.
Hey, I'm batting 500.
Thank you so much, Dr. Welborn. It has been such an honor talking with you. I don't know about y'all, but I am definitely craving some barbecue now. And if you want to see more about his barbecue journey, go to GeorgiaBBQTrails.com or go to the YouTube page at GABB_Q Trails to watch the full miniseries. Keepers of the Flame, fan the flames of change. GA Women's in Barbecue. I'm Caroline Hubbard, and this has been Cat Talk.
News anchor? What do you like 10 seconds? Can you just read this announcement for me?
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay.
This semester, GC360 is introducing a new show, Cat Talk. We will showcase a new guest each month and deep dive into some topical issues of concern to you. You may also see some of our guests play some silly games while they're here with us. You won't want to miss this. From GC360, this is Isabella Vanderlende. So join me each month for Cat Talk right here on GC360.
Welcome, listeners. How y'all doing? Coming soon, right from the classrooms of Midway Hills and Lakeview Academies, the Writing for Success podcast, a reimagining of the 1998 anthology, Everybody Has a Story to Tell, Stories of Flannery O'Connor's Milledgeville. Baldwin County students will share their stories as part of this 100% federally funded grant of $385,000 to improve literacy in Baldwin County Elementary School. That sounds pretty good, y'all. Come check it out. Can't wait to see y'all there, or hear y'all there, or just hang out there. See you there.